This is DD India and you're watching Express News, a program where we bring you top 100 news of the day. I'm Prasar Bharati. Let's begin. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated Kartavya Bhavan 3 in Delhi on Wednesday, advancing the centre's plan to streamline governance by housing key ministries under one roof. Prime Minister also reviewed the state-of-the-art Kartavya Bhavan 3, taking detailed information about the project's progress and key features of the modern infrastructure. Prime Minister met with the workers involved in the construction of Kartavya Bhavan 3 and interacted with them to learn about their experiences. After the inauguration, Prime Minister Modi planted a tree on the premises of the building. Union Minister Piyush Goyal participated in the India-Philippines CEO Roundtable along with Philippines President and leading business representatives from both sides. Discussion focused on promoting bilateral trade, boosting investments and enhancing the ease of doing business. Leaders also emphasized on key sectors of collaboration including health, pharma, IT, science and innovation, education and agriculture. In Jammu and Kashmir's Kulgam district, the anti-terror operation in the dense forests of Akhal entered its sixth consecutive day today. So far, 3 terrorists have been killed while 3 security personnel have sustained injuries. 29th edition of Delhi Book Fair and 25th Stationery Fair began from Wednesday at Bharat Mandapam. Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta inaugurated the fair. Organized by India Trade Promotion Organization, the theme of fair is Books and Publishers, the Future of Multilingual India. Union Ministers Giriraj Singh and Pabitra Margarita on Wednesday released the book Carbon Footprint Assessment in the Indian Handloom Sector in the national capital. The book, prepared with Ministry of Textiles and IIT Delhi, offers simple steps and case studies to measure the carbon footprint of handloom products. The Government Degree College, Dras in Ladakh has secured the FSSAI registration for its flagship food product, Dras Pickle, a step towards fostering local entrepreneurship and skill-based economic growth. By attaining the certification under Food Safety and Standards Act 2006, the college has laid the foundation for a fully compliant and scalable food business. India's Monetary Policy Committee has kept the policy repo rate unchanged at 5.5% and the neutral stance will continue, said Reserve Bank of India Governor Sanjay Malhotra on Wednesday. Further, the RBI governor also announced that the real GDP growth for 2025-26 is projected at 6.5%, while the real GDP growth for next quarter one is projected at 6.6%. The RBI governor further noted a decline in consumer price index inflation from 3.7% to 3.1%. Speaking on foreign direct investments, RBI governor said that gross FDI to India remained strong during April to May 2025-26 this year. However, net FDI was moderated. RBI governor also said that they have been monitoring macroeconomic conditions and will continue to take necessary steps to keep economic growth on track. The upper house of the Indian Parliament on Wednesday passed the Carriage of Goods by Sea Bill 2025, while the lower house passed the Merchant Shipping Bill 2024. The Department of African Studies, University of Delhi celebrated its 70th anniversary on Wednesday, marking its historic significance and commitment to the study of Africa within the Indian academic landscape. The event brought together scholars, diplomats, public thinkers and students from across India and Africa. Indian equity indices ended on a negative note in the volatile session. In fact, on Wednesday at close, Sensex slipped 166 points to settle at 80,544. Nifty fell 75 points at 24,574. Gold futures maturing on October 3rd were priced at rupees 1,760,000 per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. And silver futures for September 5 maturity stood at rupees 1,13,069 per kilogram on the MCX. Indian rupee rises 15 paise to close at 87.73 against US dollar on Wednesday. Oil prices climbed on Wednesday, rebounding from a 5-week low the previous day as investors eyed further US sanctions on Russia. Brent crude futures gained 1.3% to $68.54 a barrel. Sam Altman's OpenAI is reportedly in early talks to sell shares that could value it at a staggering $500 billion. This move will let employees cash out some of their stock, giving them a big financial boost. Addressing the reporters, US President Donald Trump said that he has no knowledge that the United States imports Russian chemicals and fertilizers after India claims that US continues to import Russia uranium hexafluoride. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley has urged Donald Trump not to damage ties with India, calling it a key US ally. Haley bagged New Delhi and criticized Trump for going soft on China despite its close ties with Russia, warning against alienating strategic partners. Taking to social media platform X, Haley said, and I quote, "Don't give China a pass and burn a relationship with a strong ally like India." Russian President Vladimir Putin met with US President Special Envoy Steve Witkoff in Moscow. The Kremlin informed on Wednesday that President Vladimir Putin will meet with United Arab Emirates President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan on Thursday. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Wednesday urged Washington to ramp up pressure on Russia to end its conflict during a visit to Moscow by US envoy Steve Witkoff. Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia region governor said on Wednesday that 2 people were killed and 10 others were injured in the recent Russian strikes. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Tuesday that Tel Aviv must complete the defeat of Hamas in Gaza to secure the release of the remaining hostages. Netanyahu met senior security officials to finalize a new strategy for the conflict in the Gaza Strip, while cabinet meeting to discuss an updated plan is scheduled for Thursday. Stanford University has laid off over 360 employees due to budget constraints linked to the Trump administration's federal funding policies. The Trump administration has threatened to cut federal funds for universities over climate initiatives, transgender policies, and diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. US President Trump has announced that he will name a replacement for Federal Reserve Governor Adriana Kugler by week's end. South Korea's former First Lady Kim Keon-hye apologized on Wednesday as she appeared for questioning by investigators on a string of corruption charges. Kim Keon-hye faces a long list of charges including stock fraud, bribery, and illegal influence peddling. Sri Lanka's parliament has voted to impeach the country's police chief for misconduct and gross abuse of power. The decision follows months of legal and political turmoil in Sri Lanka surrounding Deshabandhu Tenakun, who had been under suspension. In a landmark operation, Brazil's Federal Highway Police seized 103 kilograms of gold worth over $11 million in Boa Vista, Roraima. And during the final stage of joint naval drills, Russian and Chinese forces engaged in anti-submarine warfare exercises searching for a notional enemy's submarine. Britain's charity regulator said it had found no evidence of bullying at a charity set up by Prince Harry, but criticized all parties for allowing a dispute to become public. We are heading for a short break. We'll be back with Express News in just a bit. Stay tuned to DD India.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. I am Prasar Bharati. Let's resume. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami on Wednesday morning again and took stock of the disaster situation in the state. Meanwhile, Uttarakhand CM Dhami visited Uttarkashi to inspect the disaster-affected Dharali area. NDRF DIG Mohsen Shahidi addressed media persons on Wednesday, saying teams of ITBP, SDRF, NDRF, BRO are carrying out rescue operations at the spot. Two cloudbursts in the Indian state of Uttarakhand have caused widespread destruction, with Dharali bearing the most damages. Relief and rescue operations are led by the Indian Army, ITBP and Disaster Response Forces. Over 150 people have been rescued so far. The Indian Army has deployed its Mi-17 and Chinook helicopters to look for the stranded. Army tracker dogs and drones have been moved. Restoration work by Border Roads Organization is underway despite inclement weather and continuous rainfall. 3 teams of NDRF are on the way and they will reach the spot as soon as the road reopens. Teams are also on standby in Pantnagar and Joshimath. In Himachal Pradesh, as a cloudburst in Kinnaur led to flood-like conditions, in the district on Wednesday. ITBP and NDRF teams are carrying out search operation with 413 pilgrims rescued so far. Rescue crews raised on Wednesday to clear debris and flooded roads at southern China braced for more extreme rainfall after some of the worst downpours this century. 4 rivers rose above warning levels, including the Danshui River, which exceeded the danger mark by 2.19 meters. 1 person has died as a result of wildfire in the Aude region in the southern France. 1,820 firefighters were trying to get it under control. Wildfires raged across Spain on Tuesday as the country is facing the second heat wave of the summer, with temperatures reaching 40 degrees Celsius in several areas. Firefighters battled the wildfire near houses in town of Pontesco and in Spain, which also forced the evacuation of Corme Aldea village due to the proximity. North Korea opened the national exhibition of sci-tech achievements in the field of furniture and finishing building materials in Pyongyang on Tuesday. The exhibition featured hundreds of products, including multi-purpose, functional furniture and decorative electric lighting. Fans of Whitney Houston have the chance to own items belonging to singer when they go up for auction on August 11. Customized dresses and an exclusive Whitney at home slot machine are among the collectibles set for auction. All of the proceeds from the sales will go to funding initiatives and scholarships that continue the philanthropic legacy of the late singer. Turkey is gearing up to celebrate 954th anniversary of the Battle of Manzikert, which played an important role in Turkification of Anatolia. This year's most remarkable highlights will be the canes made from millennium-old walnut trees and special walking stick collection. Turkish authorities in a popular seaside resort in Izmir province have cut drinking water access, with nearby villages having to draw water. In fact, villagers having to draw water from shrinking aquifer. In front of the UN headquarters, a reproduction of Auguste Rodin's famous statue, The Thinker, is gradually being swallowed up in the sea of plastic waste. Canadian artist Benjamin Wong aims to draw attention to plastic pollution before negotiations for a plastic treaty at UN. House of the Dragon star Matt Smith is set to play as the villain of Star Wars Starfighter, going to share screen with Ryan Gosling. Renowned Hollywood actress Kelly Mack passed away at 33. She worked on numerous successful projects like The Walking Dead. Disney Plus announced its new anime series Twisted Wonderland, set to premiere on October 29. Scream Queens actress Billie Lourd joins Andrew Garfield for an upcoming movie, Artificial. The movie is directed by Luca Guadagnino, in fact. Harry Potter audiobooks revealed its star-studded cast lineup with an ensemble cast of over 200 performers. First installment will release on 4th of November. Colin Hoover's novel movie adaptation Regretting You trailer out, movie to hit theatres on October 24. Kannada actor Santosh Balaraj, known for his intense roles in Kariya 2 and Kempa, passed away at 34 due to jaundice. 1962 Indochina clash drama 120 Bahadur or 120 Bahadur teaser is out. Farhan Akhtar is all set to star as Paramveer Chakra awardee Major Chaitan Singh Bhatti. Riverdale actor KJ Apa will portray Hollywood legend James Stewart in an upcoming biopic. Jenna Ortega supernatural fantasy series Wednesday Season 2 is all set to premiere on Netflix on Wednesday. Four-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka will face Clara Tauson of Denmark in the semi-final of Canadian Open in Montreal on Wednesday. In another semi-final, 2022 Wimbledon champion Elena Rybakina will clash with 18-year-old Canadian sensation Victoria Mboko. Second seed Taylor Fritz has set up an All-American semi-final with Ben Shelton at Canadian Open in Toronto. Fritz beat Andrei Rublev 6-3, 7-6 in the quarter-final to claim his place in the fifth semi-final of the season. Meanwhile, Ben Shelton won a Masters quarter-final in his fourth attempt by defeating Australian Alex de Minaur 6-3, 6-4. British number one Emma Raducanu has hired former coach of Rafael Nadal, Francisco Roig, for the rest of the 2025 season. Player of the series and England batter Harry Brook said Joe Root should have got the honour after the 5-match test series between England was drawn 2-2. New Zealand paceman Will O'Rourke has been ruled out of the second test against Zimbabwe on Thursday due to back injury. Afghanistan have named a 22-player preliminary squad for the tri-series with Pakistan and United Arab Emirates later this month. The Chennai Grandmasters chess tournament has been postponed by a day following a fire at the event venue. The tournament will now begin on Thursday. Football legend Lionel Messi's trip to India in March 2026 has been cancelled after the Argentina Football Association allegedly breached the contract signed with the Kerala state government. Coach Javier said Lionel Messi will miss Inter Miami's crucial Leagues Cup match against Pumas UNAM on Wednesday due to a muscle issue. Defending champion Al Hilal will be banned from the Saudi Super Cup 2026-27 if it qualifies. The decision came after the club pulled out of the Super Cup in Hong Kong this month. Professional Football League in Italy named Serie A will begin announcing video assistant referee decisions live in stadiums and on television starting next season. Portuguese football club Porto stated that their former captain Jorge Costa died at the age of 53 after suffering a cardiac arrest at the club's training centre. That's it in this edition of Express News. News and updates will continue. You stay tuned to D-Day India.